All right, in the previous tutorial on how to use graphical analysis, we made a distance versus time graph and we performed a linear fit and got these statistics that we were after, like the slope and the y-intercept. It often happens in physics class that in addition to graphing the raw data, you may want to manipulate one of the columns, do some math on it, and then replot the graph. So we're going to do that here. I'm going to close out the linear curve fit. And we want to add a new column, like we now want to plot on the y-axis. Let's say I'm just going to make this up, 3.5 times the distance squared. Don't know why we would want to do that right now, but we're going to have plenty of occasions throughout the year to manipulate one of our axes. So in order to do that, back over here to the data table, I'm going to go to column options and I'm going to select Add Calculated Column. You could also add a manual column if you want to do the math yourself on your calculator and type it in, but let's let the software do the work for us. So I'm going to add a calculated column, and you could name it whatever you'd like. We call it our modified distance column. And since we are going to be squaring the distance column, the units will also be squared. So our units will be meters squared. And then down here is where you insert the expression, where you do the math on the column that you have chosen. So I'm going to go to Insert Expression, and you'll see it looks a little intimidating at first, but there are all sorts of mathematical manipulations that you can do. You can multiply the distance and the time columns together. You could add, you could multiply. You could do just about any manipulation that you will need to right here in this table. I am going to select this top one because we want to do 3.5 times the distance column squared. So I will select that. And down here is where you put the expression in. So I want to do 3.5 times the distance column squared, which is raised up to the second power. And I will hit apply. When I do that, notice it's added a brand new column out here called our modified distance, and it has our units, and it has all of these values, and each of these values is run through the equation 3.5 times the distance squared, and here's our end result. Notice it's already graphed it for us over here. You could click on the modified distance, and you can see you could go back to the distance graph if you want to, but right now, all that I'm plotting is the modified distance. So we might want to add a curve fit. So if I go back to the graph tools and apply curve fit, notice it tries by default once again to put a linear fit on. Now, the computer doesn't know any better. It's up to us to say, well, I don't really think that's a linear fit. I want to change that. So I'm going to go to quadratic, which is a much better fit, and click apply. And now, just like math class, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, and it provides you with the a, b, and the c coefficients. Very powerful. Hope you enjoy.